Hello guys, as promised in this video, I will be discussing about the needs analysis that you have submitted to me in general. I will not be, of course, mentioning particular names to respect each other's privacy. Now, among all the 4 skills that you rank, it was speaking, which is the most difficult for you. And the rest of the skills are practically, I think almost everyone said you can manage it at the right, with the right persons, the right time, and the right reading materials or listening materials. Anyway, to answer your individual needs, for example, especially with the speaking problems, it is understandable that among the 4 skills of reading, writing, listening, and speaking is the most, many second language users of English find it the most difficult. Why? Because it is spontaneous, okay? Unlike reading and writing, or most especially writing, you have the time to write, rewrite, correct your mistakes before you finalize it, because it is not spontaneous. While speaking is considered the most difficult among the 4 skills because of its spontaneity. Okay, so to solve these problems for speech, and I think some of you were telling me that about accent and pronunciation following the American English and so on. With that, I think we could insert some lessons, or I can introduce to you the IPA, or the International Phonetic Alphabet, which is a sound alphabet. I don't know whether you are familiar with this or not. You just tell me in your reaction. IPA is an international phonetic alphabet that contains all the vowels and the consonant sounds of American English. Once I will introduce it to you, it's a matter of familiarizing yourselves with it, and then putting it into words that you are going to practice. And as I said, practice makes perfect, although there is nobody who could be perfect in learning a second language. But the nearer we are, as I said, the better. Okay, aside from IPA, I think the oral activity that we are going to do per meeting, first hour always of our meeting, would enhance your capacity to use the language as spontaneously as you can, and of course to develop your rapport. Now, since we are not in face-to-face thing here, as advised a while ago in our Google Classroom, I told you that you have to look straight to the camera, and the camera would be your imagined audience. So while you are talking during our oral activities, actual oral activities in the Google Classroom, or whether it's taped or actual, try to take the camera as your audience. Look directly eye to eye with the camera, as if you are challenging the camera that you are well and good in speaking the target language. Okay, So that's one of the answers to the question, to the needs, especially with difficulty in speaking spontaneously. The IPA would help you with knowing the different sounds from the absent down to the difficult sounds to produce, which are absent in our first language. For example, with the sound of TH, which sounded and unsounded, like and just like when you say this, that, then, thought, thank, think, and so on and so forth. These sounds, the TH sound there is absent in our first language. That is why, naturally, second language, we Filipinos, as second language speakers, find it very difficult to produce. Okay, so that's one solution to your oral problems. Now, another thing that I advise you to do to cure whatever your problems are in speaking the target language, may it be especially on pronunciation, is to always be familiar with the different accents, and the most popular ones are of course the British English and American English. Though most of the Philippine schools practically would adhere to the American English. But somehow, with the presence of the world Englishes, there are 100 countries whose English are recognized as their own English. But I still would like to encourage you to practically be familiar with the American English and the British English for your purpose, your future job, since you will be speaking, writing, and listening to different accents, but most of all the British and the American English. Okay, so listen to BBC perhaps, and CNN and other newscast channels, YouTubes for that purpose. 5 minutes a day will do. Try to listen to very good models, because once you're exposed to very good models, then it's easy for you to imitate them. Also, you can train yourselves with pronunciation and other speaking problems. To correct your other speaking problems, you can expose yourselves to music. Okay, choose singers that you love to listen to, and listen to their songs. There will be very good exercise for you for listening at the same time speaking. Remember, a good speaker must first of all be a good listener. Okay. With regards to public speaking, I think your next English, and that's English 2 for the second term, will have a lot of activities for public speaking. So we will just try to have some other activities first. After I introduce the IPA to you, it's up to you to practice. You can do it through the tongue twisters. Okay, we have different ways of presenting tongue twisters, so that you will not be bored repeating and pronouncing the words again and again. You can put some tunes while you are doing the tongue twisters for your pronunciation practice. For example, Peter Piper got a pack of pickled pepper. Peter Piper got a pack of pickled pepper. So instead of reciting it again and again, which is quite boring for some teenagers of you at your age, you may put some tunes and sing it to the max. For example, if you are a jazzy person, you may say, Peter Piper, Peter Piper, get a pack of pickled pepper. Now, if you like rapping it, you can do a rap out of that Peter Piper thing, like this. Peter Piper get a pack of pickled pepper. Peter Piper, okay? Or the very familiar chicken soup thing. Chicken soup, give me a cup of chicken soup. Okay, well, you can do it any way you like it. The jazz way, the rap way, or the rock way that suits your personality, of course. Something that you do and at the same time enjoy. So you see, you can learn and master English in an enjoyable way. That's one of our main goals. Also, you can listen and mimic your favorite singers, as I have mentioned a while ago. So make sure that the singers you imitate are very good models for the particular English that you would like to master. May it be British or may it be American English. But I think our school is prescribing, and so with other schools and universities are prescribing the American English, which is now known as the Global English, English for Business, International English, etc., etc., for such type of English, the American English. Okay, with regards to your writing problem, I think we have one solution that we are doing right now, and that's the journal and the journal writing, which is a writing without fear. Okay. Also, I think one or two of you said it's hard for you to get started. You can write, but sometimes it's hard. Given a topic, it's sometimes would take you quite some time to get writing all through. So a very good solution for this is part and parcel of some of our lessons. We will be introducing clustering, treeing, what else? Outlining informally and formally. So doing this would help you getting started. So just watch out for these writing activities in one of our lessons or some of our lessons. Reading, I think many of you told me you are good readers, okay, and you are avid readers. That's a good thing to know. Okay, so though we have some reading activities in line with our topic, remember we have 10 topics, we have some inculcated with some grammar functions and so on and so forth. That is how we are going to go through and train ourselves in the mastery of the 4 areas of the target language, which is reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Many of you also for the listening needs analysis, many of you said you are very good listeners. Okay, but I would like to tell you that listening is one of the most important area in language learning, because it takes it would take a good listener to be a good writer, a good reader, listening to the writer's thoughts while you are reading. And most of all, it takes a good listener to become a good speaker. So that's one qualifications for a good, if you wanted to be a good speaker of the target language or any other language, you must be a very good and keen listener. Okay, for reading, we can introduce some reading formulas, but for reading practice, may I ask you, when was the last time you did oral reading? Not just reading with your eyes, but with your voice, with your mouth. Okay, if you haven't done that for a long time, for 1 or 2 minutes a day, you can just grab anything. Grab any reading material. Would it be a hard one or an easy one? Anything that you can just read for 2 to 3 minutes aloud. That would help you with your pronunciation. Listen to yourself and do self-correction and so on. Another, that's for reading. We should never stop to read with our voice. Read orally. When you read orally, it's not just the reading thing. Your speed in reading is not the only thing that you are practicing, but your pronunciation as well. So it would aid you with your mastery of the speaking skills. Okay, so that's it. One thing I would like, one tip I would like to tell you about reading, because some of you said you have some problems with understanding the meaning of words, the vocabularies or of words that you are reading. Now, in one of the reading formulas I would like to share with you is the first reading should be a fast reading. Fast reading means skim and scan, never stopping at all until the end. Okay, that is just to get the gist of whether the material is at your level, below your level, or beyond your level. Okay, so fast reading should be done, and no stopping if you find a word that you think you did not understand. So you have to train yourself to read and get the meaning in context. So those vocabularies that you think, or words, hard words that you think you were not able to grasp the meaning of immediately, the writer would always make use of a way of explaining it somewhere, sometime in the text. So that is why when it is your first reading, do not stop because there is a word that you do not understand. It will disrupt you from your understanding of the whole text. Okay, so first reading, do not stop. Even if you find very difficult vocabularies or words that you do not understand, okay, just mark it or encircle it or write it, encircle it, and continue reading. Okay, and try to understand these difficult words without even using a dictionary or any help from Google or whatever, but with the help of finishing through the context. Okay, because it's always the writer's job to to let the readers understand. Okay, believe me. Okay, that's for your reading, and that's how to answer some of your problems in with difficult words while you are reading and while also you are listening. Okay, for listening problems, I think in the first place you have to learn the difference between hearing and listening, because there are two different processes. Okay, and it takes and hearing is a requirement for a good listening. Okay, so perhaps in one of our sessions I'll be explaining to you more about the difference between hearing and listening. If you are familiar with a song, a classic song from the Beatles, I think, or I don't know who is singing. People hearing without listening. People hearing without listening. Are you that one? So make sure you hear and then listen. Okay? Okay, problems in listening. Usually we have a lot of disruptions when we are listening. Like one of you said, attention span and so on. Yeah, I agree with you. So we need to really do and be patient with developing our concentration, most especially if the speaker is not really that good or not how's this not interesting at all. I'm sorry to tell you that. Okay, so and not all speakers, not all teachers, not all professors, not everybody, not all that you are talking to are interesting. That is why we have really to develop the patience of good listening. Okay, to answer the problem, we will have some listening activities, of course. And as I told you in the first day during the orientation, we will have a lot of reading, writing,